Hi, gorgeous. Welcome in. You're tuning to Phocused Wellness, where we do a weekly reading, energetic, reading and clearing with some homework attached. I am a certified health and wellness coach. So I try and bring in some of that energy here. So it's wellness plus woo-woo equals fun times, hopefully, if you like this video. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been here before, I'm so grateful that you're coming back to get these energies for this week. And if you're new here, welcome in. It's so lovely to have you. I hope this resonates with you. We have two piles here to choose from. Really powerful readings this week, honestly. There's a lot going on in the energy, obviously, for the collective. So this might not resonate with you, but if it does, then take it. If it doesn't, then leave it, and come back for another reading. If you want a personal reading, my information is down below in the description box. I will never reach out to you. So if someone is reaching out to you, it's not me. So you can ignore them or block them or whatever. I just think it's creepy. I'm not going to ever reach out to you. It's only if you reach out to me that I will then respond. I'd love to do a reading for you. So feel free to reach out. And like and subscribe and comment and do all that wonderful stuff to let me know if this reading resonates with you. I hope it does. But in the meantime, we can go into the decks here. So first for pile one, we have play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. In pile two, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. So I want you to take a couple deep breaths and tune in. Let's see which one has a message for you. I'll see you in your reading. Pile one, hi gorgeous, welcome in. If you've chosen this reading, hopefully something in here resonates for you. Thanks for tuning in for your weekly reading, but this is timeless, so whenever you find it is when it's meant to find you. So we're going to dive in here. I got some cards already pulled for you that I've shuffled and pulled just to save a little bit of time. So I'm not shuffling on camera because sometimes it just takes a while for those little cards to pop out. And I don't want to waste your time. We just want to get straight into the messages. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to start with the Work Your Light Oracle cards first. And let's see what Spirit has to say for you this week for your best and highest good. And if this resonates, please be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below and tell me what's going on with you and how this reading is for you. Cool. So we're going to dive in. So first up, we have play. Oh my God, I love this card. Play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. The world right now is really, really serious. And there's a lot of things happening right now. And this is, again, it's timeless. So I'm sure there's always going to be something happening, but it feels pretty dark and heavy if you're watching this in January. There's just a lot going on. And I think it's a good reminder for us to celebrate those moments in our own lives that bring us joy, because we have to be able to find some joy in our life to be able to, carry on and persevere and continue in our mission and our purpose. And so I think it's, really important to remember to connect and to play and to have fun and celebrate those, those little moments in your life, whether it's you cooked a really great breakfast and you're like, oh my God, A, it was tasty. B, I feel nourished. C, it's helped me set up my day. It could be something as simple as, that, just like nourishing your body or, moving your body and, getting to the gym, celebrate that. It's hard. It's cold. If you live in North America, the Northern Hemisphere, it's cold. It's really, really cold right now when I'm filming this. So if you made it to the gym, good on you. You deserve a little celebration there, take that moment just to recognize what you've accomplished for yourself. Or, like you went to therapy this week, that's amazing. You're working on yourself. You're working on your healing journey, and it's not easy work to do. And I think it's, important for us to balance, what we have to do versus what we like to do, but then also remember the joy that comes in from feeling that feeling of accomplishment, of doing something that was hard, but you got through it and now you've grown as a person, And so I think it's just a reminder to, celebrate those moments, get out there and play. If you're, in a snowstorm right now, Maybe when it lets up, I know it's really cold outside, but maybe go throw some, snowballs or make a snowman or go sledding, like enjoy those little moments where you can, because it just makes life so much sweeter. Because there is so much darkness that we as light workers, especially, are being called to, battle and awaken others, to the light. And so we need to be able to sit in that moment of joy and to play, to continue on and to, like help further our own mission. And it's so important to our own sort of, like balance and self-esteem and, self-regulation to play. So it could be coloring, it could be, dancing in your living room, if you have kids, like get them involved, like dance around, like sing, get some karaoke going, like just take that moment, get outside, go ride a bike, if you're in a place where it's sunny and warm and dry, ride a bike or, go sledding again. Like just, take those moments to find the time to connect with that joyfulness. And what just came through for me is also your inner child. Like what would your inner child want to do? Like how do they like to play? I think that's important to also recognize that we got to let them out. There's so much adulting that happens in this world, and it's time we all need a little bit of a mental break just to like let loose a little bit. So I love this, guidance for this week of play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious, because we all need it. It's, as I've mentioned, we all know this. I don't need to say this anymore. It's a crazy time in the world. So the more that we can connect and play and tap into the fun bits of life, the farther our energy will go too, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, because you need to like regenerate that playful energy within all of us. To be able to keep moving forward. Yep, that's what it is. Playfulness equals energy equals moving forward. And it gives us a drive to continue pursuing, human rights, or, starting a business, or, being there for, your parents if you have to like be a caretaker, like whatever it is, we need that energy and that forward momentum. And that comes from play, from just having some fun. Also, soul family. Okay, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. I truly believe that. And I think this goes hand in hand with play. It's like, who are you able to be silly with? Who are you able to, have those moments where it doesn't feel so serious all the time, and you're able to let your hair down, you're able to laugh, and you're able to, go sledding and have snowball fights, and who are those people for you? Because if you don't have them already, they'll be coming in, that's for sure. But it feels like this week especially is a good time to focus on community and those around you. Especially in January, if you're watching this in the Northern Hemisphere, it's like we've had all the excitement of, the holidays and connection. And sometimes January gets a little bit of like a doldrums, excuse me, confirmation burp. But, it's like we can get a little bit, we're inside, especially if you live in someplace where it's cold and snowy. We're inside. We're not able to necessarily get out. So find the time to be able to connect with others that you love, post-holiday season, and play and do something fun and playful. Maybe it's doing somatic art. You have some girlfriends over, drinking some wine, doing a little bit of art. Or you're, dancing in your kitchen with your kids, while you're making dinner. I think it's about really connecting community and playfulness and regenerating that energy that we all so desperately need right now. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's so cool. What a great way to start your reading, pile one. Just a reminder, play with your people. You don't have to do it alone. We're not meant to do it alone. We're not meant to be isolated and in hermit mode all the time. It's important to, do some healing and to introspection, but you don't have to do it alone. And this is not the week to do it alone. This is a week to come together and find joy in the moments where we can, and celebrate. Yeah, cool. Okay, and now we have the Modern Witch tarot cards here. So let's see what we got. Ooh, King of Wands. How fun is that? Yes. You're going to be feeling, I think by, calling in your community and that playful element, the King of Wands is about, like that really grounded, forceful energy, but not in a way that's like, yeah, I'm going to do this in a way that's like, imposing on other folks. It's like, you're standing in your own, you're commanding the field in front of you, and whatever else is around you. If it's, business or, community action, like it's a creative spark, and being able to have that fire within, because wands is the fire element, between like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you could be one of those. You certainly don't have to be. You could be someone in your life, that is, acting as that leader, and you're acting as that leader, which I think is really cool too. And you're able to stand, sit on your throne and feel like you are in command of the situation. You're not scattered, you're not fighting, you've built yourself into this way to become this king energy and command what needs to be done. And you're going to light the spark, you're going to be that creative element, but you're going to do it from a place of really deep inner knowing and feeling like this is the way forward. And I know I have pure clarity and we are moving forward, and here we go. And also it's okay to make mistakes. Like, I think sometimes when we think about the King of Wands, or any of the court cards, you think like, oh, these people have it all together, like I have to be in this position the whole time, but again, it's a reminder of like, take chances, take some risks, play, don't be so serious about it, and know that it's okay to fail. Know that, a lot of things can be undone, some things can't, but for the most part, if you're taking a risk or you're trying something new, it opens up either a new path, or you could go back and do like what you were doing. I think it's important to be able to have that confidence in yourself, to know that you're able to take risks and you're able to play, you're able to try something new, and know that it's all working out for you. Even if it feels like a fail, or a failure, like it's all working out for you. It's in your highest good is what Spirit is coming here to say. Be a leader, take a chance. Yeah, give it a go. Let's see what else we got here. Four of Wands. Yes. Okay. So Four of Wands is about, coming together and celebrating again. So it's like play, celebrate, Four of Wands, like it's about your people too. So it's again, like finding could be a significant other, sometimes this is about marriage, or it's about commitment, it's about, I think, things like coming together for your highest good in a way that you can celebrate, in a way that feels like it's like, yeah, this is what I've been wanting, like huzzah, like it feels grounded and yet exciting at the same time, to be able to connect and to be able to commit and have this new endeavor in your life. It feels like it's actually coming to, it's a culmination of things that you've been wanting. Because if we think about the wands previous to this, Ace is having an idea, the Two of Wands, it's like, okay, I'm going to start taking action on it, and I'm taking some steps forward. The Three of Wands is waiting for your ships to come in, it's, waiting for results. And now you've seen some results, and it's time to celebrate. It's time to be like, yeah, cool. I still have, a lot of this journey left to get to this like king state, but I'm on my way. Take those moments to, celebrate along the way and see those milestones and celebrate those milestones. I think that's really important here. And the Queen of Cups in reverse. So the Queen of Cups is such a beautiful energy. It can be, really emotional. It's tied to, our beautiful water signs of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It's tied to the element of water and emotions and fluidity. And I think when it's in reverse, it's a matter of like, don't get too stuck in your feels. Again, don't be so serious about things. Like use your intuition to help guide you, but really it's about taking action. And it's about just like getting out there and trying different things and not being so stuck, looking into the cup that you get lost in it and you miss the moment and you miss the action and you miss the spark. I think it's about not being so self-introspective that you aren't able to take action and you're just too in it, in the situation, in your emotions and how you're feeling about a situation. And sometimes you just got to do it and just let it come, and let it flow. That's what I'm getting from this so far. Let's see what else we got. The Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, so Nine of Cups in reverse, Nine of Cups typically is about, satisfaction and emotional fulfillment and being like, yeah, I did it. That's cool. Like, a way to celebrate. But what I'm getting from this, especially being, in reverse with her arms crossed, it feels a little defensive of like, yeah, I've been doing all of this and look what I have to show for it, and it's like, instead of being like, you know what, let's celebrate all these milestones. I have all of this, I'm working towards my development. I'm working towards the things that I want to be working towards without feeling like it's owed to me. It kind of feels like it's all just going to like fall into place from a creativity aspect of it versus being like not satisfied. So again, I think that's why it's important. Maybe if you feel like you've been working really hard and you're seeing some movement, but you're not feeling necessarily like how you should be, it's time to not be so serious about it. Like let's say you work in a corporate job, right? And you're like, I've been putting my time in, I've been here for 2 years, it's time for promotion. Like, where are my cups? It's a little bit defensive, I think, in this way. And what we need to do is just allow it to come in and just celebrate and be like, you know what? I've been here 2 years. Here's all the cool things that I've learned that I didn't know when I first started this job, or like, what are the things along the way that you can be like grateful for, I would say, that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Because, if you think about, okay, you started a new job, let's just say, you work in marketing and you've never done a big event before because of, COVID or whatever. And in these 2 years, you've been able to do an in-person event, and kind of get that feeling of what that's like and all the steps along the way that you've learned in this journey. That's what I'm feeling. It's the satisfaction of, instead of feeling like I need to be rewarded for this stuff, it's having your own sort of self-reward and knowing that you've accomplished so much already, even if you're not necessarily seeing it in the material world. So it's about being satisfied with the journey along the way and knowing there's more to do and there's more to grow and there's so much more to learn, which is what's so exciting about being, a human being, is that there's so much to learn and do and try new things and get out there and, like experiment. So if you're expecting an external validation, you might not be getting it this week. So I think that's why it's important to validate yourself internally. It's like, okay, you know what? I've grown so much. I've had fun along the way. If you haven't had fun along the way, that's something to reevaluate too. Can you flip that mindset and reframe it to see all of those wins that you've done and the journey along the way and the people who have been there for you in that way? Are you having fun with them? Or are you feeling like it's a burden, like it's an emotional burden? I think that's a good check-in for this week, is to look at A, where you've been, B, who you're with, and C, seeing if it's fun or if it's been a burden. Because if it's been a burden, then it's going to be time to evaluate probably. But just take this time to check in with yourself, I would say. Yeah, exactly. Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is a messenger. It's about the mental, realm. It's our beautiful air signs of Gemini, Aquarius. Oh my God. Why am I totally spacing on the third amazing air sign? Libra. Oh my God. Sorry. Geez, brain fart there. But these are, our very cerebral friends, and a Page of Swords is a messenger, in the mental space. So you're going to be getting, clear mental idea. You're feeling things because you've been doing things, and now it's going to come in. You're going to get a feeling of like, yep, continue on, or nope, we got to cut this out, and just, try something different. And be playful with it again. Like, don't take it so seriously. If it comes in and it feels like, oh shit, like this is not what I meant to be doing. Okay, well, while let's again go back to the corporate job example. While you're in your corporate job, let's say you want to look for something else. You want to try a different path. Like, what are the steps you can do to get you there? But then also, what can you learn in your current space in the meantime? Like, not every situation is lost. It could be about, you're learning about different people's personalities and how to handle, maybe a difficult boss or coworker, or narcissistic people in the workplace, like, how do you stand up for yourself? Like, you can learn these things along the way and not have it feel so weighted and not feel like, oh my God, if I do this one thing or say this one thing, it's going to be the end of me. Like, I think that's what's important for this week, is knowing that yes, you're going to have things coming in. Yes, you're going to take action on it. But it's all about learning. It's all about the journey and the discovery and being able to celebrate those milestones along the way, you know? So like if you're not happy, take this moment to clarify what it is that you're not happy about. Again, is it the people? Is it the work? Is that you feel like you're not growing in the skill set? And try and find the silver lining in it. I would say try and take a step back and be like, okay, you know what? I've learned X and I've met Y, you know, and you just kind of like reframe it so it doesn't feel so heavy and so loaded and like, I'm not being recognized. I feel like no one appreciates me, you know, like I would say take a step back and look at this from a different perspective. You know, maybe have a friend or, you know, a coach or counselor, you know, or someone walk you through this particular situation and look at it from a different angle, you know, like tilt it, you know, some degrees so it doesn't feel so heavy with you, on you, in your heart, because it's not meant to be. We're meant to have fun. We're meant to be celebrating together. We're meant to do this all together. Even when times are hard. There's always a lesson. It doesn't have to be like we're always having to fix something and strive for something. That's not what I'm saying at all, because like, trust me, we can all be on a journey of constantly fixing and then feeling like we're never good enough. I don't think that's what this is about. I think it's just about, you know, taking the time to look at a particular situation, finding the joys and the celebrations within it, especially if it involves community, you know, and the people within you and the leadership skills that you're developing because of it. Yeah, and I think too with the Page of Swords, looking back at these two more emotional cards, it's like, okay, I'm allowed to have these emotions. They are justified in this way. But to move forward, maybe we have to look at things in a different way. Excuse me. Voice just went out for 1 second. Yeah, I like that so much. Okay, let's see from these Angel Oracle cards what we have to say here. Cupid. We send great waves of love into your heart and mind, awakening love for life itself. Your clear decision to accept and enjoy romance has triggered this reawakening. Allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all its glorious aspects. So while this is Cupid, it could also be, again, about friends, about family, about, you know, a job that you love or don't love. You know, it's about that reawakening within your heart to find what it is you do love and what you do connect with. Because I'm not necessarily getting like a love reading from this. I mean, the Four of Wands is about, you know, celebration and, you know, like a commitment and a partnership. But the rest of the cards here, I'm not necessarily getting that about. So maybe this Cupid is like ready to align you, like, you know, Cupid's arrow. Like it like awakens you to like, oh, that's what that is. I love this person. I love this job. I love the situation, you know, like, so you might be have something new coming in that way that you're really going to love. And maybe that's also what this Page of Swords is. You're going to have something new coming in, you know, a new conversation, you know, opportunity, something coming in. And I think it's going to reawaken you and maybe then reawaken that playful side of you and help you become the leader that you really are. You know, you're commanding and you're creative and, you know, you have fiery essence and spirit and you're like, but also huge heart, you know, like you're so in your heart space. So it's marrying the heart and the head and the action, I would say. Cool. Okay. And now spirit allies. Let's see what we got for you. Raven, 44, to help you this week. And Snake, 45. So we're going to be celebrating Lunar New Year in a couple weeks. We are getting rid of the Year of the Snake, thank goodness. All the transformation that has come with it. And entering into the Year of the Fire Horse. So yeah, take a moment to reflect on the transformation that you've undergone. You know, it's about not being afraid of it. Because I think that for me, what the Raven always comes through with too, it's about communication and the message that comes with it. So it might be time for an ending, and that's okay, because it's all about regenerating and renewal and finding something, you know, you're moving towards. And it's not necessarily like a death energy, but it's, you know, something is transformed for you. And I think that's really special because, like, you know, we're not stagnant in life as humans. We just aren't. We're always changing and evolving. And to recognize that in yourself, I think is also really important. Like you can always be like, well, that person's never changing or, whatever. But recognize it in yourself, recognize it in others, because people do change. It takes a lot of work and takes a lot of self-introspection, but being able to recognize that and appreciate that is, I think, really important. Okay, and I looked up the Raven 44. I see the path forward. The mysterious raven has come to deliver a prophecy, but have no fear, as Raven is a powerful spiritual ally. A messenger between the realms, this bird of the night is wise in the ways of magic in the universe. You're being reminded to tap back into your spiritual practice. Raven speaks to the importance of connecting with your guides for even a few minutes every day. Make time to incorporate meditation, journaling, or connecting with your oracle deck so you allow time and space for the divine guidance to stream in. Miracles appear in the smallest of moments, and the third eye is like a fine-tuned instrument. Spending time tuning in with your intuition and deepening your practice will lead you in the right direction. Yeah. Oh my God. And number 45, snake. I flow with the cycles of life. What did I say? Intertwined within the cycles of life and rebirth, snake knows a thing or two about removing what no longer serves them. Once snake sheds its skin and emerges brighter and bolder than before. Yeah, again, so it's tapping in. It's being able to understand by connecting with your intuition that it's not all doom and gloom. And, it's okay to be in your feels. That's totally fine. But there's other things and silver linings to see from the situation. So tune into your intuition, wait for this message to come in, and know that you'll be moving forward. And do it in a playful manner. Find out your people, do it in a playful manner. Become the leader that you're meant to be. Yeah, okay, and I think just to clarify, I have some Gypsy Oracle cards. Let's see if there's anything else about this so we can pinpoint in maybe what this situation is. All right, we got 2 here. Scholar and widower. So the widower, again, it's about letting go of something, and you might be grieving, and maybe that's why you feel like, you're in your cups a little bit, is you're grieving. It's the widower. But scholar is about learning. It's about, knowledge and moving forward. So it's being able to take, all that you've learned and being able to say, okay, I accept this transformation and here's what I'm learning from it, and we'll be moving forward with it. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, we're going to close your reading, pile 1, with an I am everything affirmation card. I'm happy. I take control of my happiness. When my happiness depends on others' actions, I'm at the mercy of things I cannot control. Instead, I choose to cultivate consistent happiness by focusing on the things I love about myself. I am happy. Yes, again, it's about the 9 of Cups in reverse. It's like not waiting that external validation, but knowing the journey that you've been on and how it strengthened you in your resolve and how incredible you are, pile 1. I'm really proud of you. It's not easy to be able to reframe, coming from a difficult situation. It's not. But you're doing the work. You're reframing your mindset. You're recognizing that, emotions are fleeting. It doesn't mean you always have to, act on them. And again, you're growing. I think that's so crazy great. Even in, this crazy world of ours, as long as you continue to focus on your happiness and a playful energy that goes with it, that sounds like success to me. It sounds like a really fulfilled life. So I want you to take some time this week just to tap in, and it feels like when you're getting into your emotional state and you're feeling maybe a little bit down and hard on yourself and being like, why don't people recognize me, or like, I'm not appreciated, just pause, take a breath, know that the situation isn't forever, and see what you have control of. Does that mean you going for a walk? Does it mean you journaling? Does it mean you speaking up for yourself? If you feel like someone's crossed your boundaries, like, what does that look like? Take one small step this week when you are feeling, triggered, to pause and see where you can bring play into this element. What can you celebrate about this moment? Is it that, my brother said something and it really aggravated me, and I stood up to him. And maybe you've never done that before, or maybe you write him a letter, or, whatever your situation is, take time. You can even laugh about it. You could be like, you know what? He did this again. It's, out of my control. There's only so much that I can do. And not, bypass the situation, but kind of reframe it in your head and bring a more playful element into it. And talk, I would say, with the find your tribe or your soul tribe, see who you can talk to about it. And maybe they can also help you, like reframe this in your head, tune into your intuition. Don't get so in your emotions about it though this week, and just know that life is always evolving. We're always changing. And it's for your best and highest good. Even if it sucks right now, I promise you, it's for your best and highest good. It's so that you can then go and help others, or you can be a good example for others, or just, not being stuck. I think that's really important. Yeah, I'm sending you a lot of love. And I just felt a moment of like just kind of peace wash over me energetically, of just like, yeah, it's hard right now. And things can be really emotional right now. But there are things to be grateful for and things to be happy about. And tune into that, especially when life feels really, really difficult. Like, tune into the moments of, here's what I've learned. Here's how I've grown. Here are the steps that I've done that I didn't think I would be able to do. And I'm really proud of you, Pile 1. You've done a lot of work. It definitely feels like it. So now, take the moment to play and to celebrate and to know that things are getting better. We're shedding and we're moving into a new season. Okay? I love you, Pile 1. I'll see you in the next one. But, if you want a private reading, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, like, subscribe, comment, do all the wonderful things just to help this channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great week. Hi, gorgeous Pile 2. Welcome into your reading for this week. My incense for the other pile just ran out, so we'll get you a fresh one here. It will go out. I hope you're doing well, Pile 2. It's good to see you. Welcome in. If it's your first time, welcome back if you've been here before. Really excited to do your reading for this week. I know it's been, if you're watching this in January when I'm filming it, it's been a crazy time out there. So I hope you're, hanging in okay, whether it's weather related or, just things are happening not only in, Minneapolis or, Greenland, like other parts of the country or the world, I should say. I hope you're doing okay and, being kind to yourself. Yeah, so for this week, I've already shuffled and cleansed your cards and pulled them out here just so, we can get to the heart of the matter and not necessarily spend a ton of time shuffling, because it takes a while for them to come out. And it took a little bit for some of these cards to come out, and other ones, we got a lot coming out. So I'm very curious to see what Spirit has to say for this week for you, Pile 2 this week. So we're going to start with the Work Your Light Oracle cards. And again, as please, if anything in here resonates with you, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear how things are going for you. And if this resonates with you, feedback is great and lovely. And I hope you're enjoying it. So we're going to start with Work Your Light Oracle cards, as I already mentioned, and I'm just repeating myself now, but you definitely had a few that came out. It was like one that came out and then these other ones came together. So I figured we'll just pull them all and see what happens when we pull them out. Okay, cool. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. It's so funny. It's like, for those of us in, a healing journey, it can be therapy, it can be energy healing. I'm an energy healer. I've been doing this, for a bit, and I've been on my own healing journey too. It feels like we constantly need to fix, right? We're constantly in this mode of like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. If I do this and I learn this, then I'll be, good to move forward, or then I'll finally let go of something. And sometimes you got to get to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm good. Not that I'm good in terms of like, I don't need more fixing. Like, I feel like growth is a continual process and like such a huge part of our evolution and self-awareness. But recognizing that you don't necessarily be taking another class or talking to another, like having another healing, like whatever. And just recognizing that, like, you know what, I'm good. I don't have anything more to fix at this moment. And it's time to just embody who I am and what I've learned and acquired and healed along the way. And I think that's what this card is saying to me here. It's like, you're already doing it. It's like, it's time to step into your power. It's time to step into whatever it is you feel like you're still searching for, and know that it's already within you. And this kind of came out with pile 1 too, and maybe it's just my own personal journey right now about like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to try something and not be good at it, or try something and be like, well, fuck that one up, and like know that another path is opening for you, or you can go back to what it was you were doing before, like I think that's so important. For the most part, obviously there are certain situations where that's not possible, but then you learn and you grow. And again, I think a different path opens up for you. So I think that's important to recognize too. It's like, you got to try something and you just got to do it and know that you can think about it and you can think about all the what ifs and you can think about the catastrophizing. But at a certain point, you just got to like ground yourself and be like, this is what it is. I'm doing it. I have the knowledge. I know that I trust myself. So if something doesn't work out the way I wanted it to, and maybe it's because spirit wants something else for you, just know that you have the ability to change. You have the ability to pivot. You have the ability to try something else on, like let's say you pack your bags and you're like, I'm moving across the country for this job and it's going to be great. And you get there and 6 months in, you're like, I hate it. You're like, I hate the city. I'm not I'm not finding my community here. This job that I really thought that was going to resonate with me just isn't for me. That happened to me one time. I moved to Seattle. Wasn't for me, like that's totally okay, so I went back to where I'm from and that's fine, and then I moved to a different city after that. It's all about acquiring information and just having the confidence just to get out there and do it. Yeah, stop overthinking, I think is an important part here. Okay, birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So maybe that's also saying too, it's like, okay, you've been contemplating what you want to be doing and where you want to be going. And I think maybe the time for thinking is over and the time for action is coming into reality. Yeah, because you've been working hard. I think you've been doing a lot of healing is what it feels like to me. You've been doing a lot of introspection. You've been working on yourself. And now it's time to recognize that, like, you know what? I've got this. I've been, learning all these different things. I've been meditating. I've been tapping into my intuition. And now my intuition is telling me that it's time to move into this way. And here we go. Time to take the brakes off. Starseed, what lights you up? Yeah, maybe that's what it is too. It's like you had an inkling of what you wanted to do, of what lights you up. You've been, really thinking about it and contemplating and doing all the work on the back end. And now it's time to do it. There are some people in life who are just like, you know what, I'm just going to get out there and learn by doing. There are other people who are like, I need to learn before I do. And so maybe if you are that person who feels like I need to learn before I do, just know that you've acquired all the knowledge and it's time to move forward. And have the confidence in yourself. Yep, I think that's super important. I think it's so cool. Like, what a great opportunity for growth, to start out 2026. If you're watching this in January, when I'm posting it, it's really, really cool. And I think the world needs you. Spirit needs you. Spirit's trying to say, like, you've been activated and now it's time to bring your light out and help others see. And, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Because if you look at the back of this card, this person's over here because like they've been, doing all the work and learning all the things. But the reality is you need to be going this way because that's where the light is. You need to be going towards the light and showing others that light and bringing that awareness into your life, into other people's lives, because you've already gotten the message, and now it's time to bring that message out to the world. And if it's in a spiritual way too, like let's say, you're wanting to start a spiritual business, or, you're an energy healer or a medium, and you've just been a little bit scared of coming out of the spiritual closet, we need you. And I think that's what Spirit's trying to do, is like give you a little kick in the butt to be like, we need you. It's like, it's not about you as a person. The messages that Spirit wants to bring through you is what's most important. Yeah, that's, I think, really important to say here. It's not necessarily about you. So sometimes you have to like let go of your own ego and know that if it is a spiritual thing, you are a channel, or you're an artist, or anything where you feel there's like a passion and you're in a flow state that's guided by Spirit. It's needed out in the world, especially right now. We need your light. We need your energy. We need you to come join us in, this like light workers era, to bring us to a new and a better world, because you know where you want to go. You know where we're meant to be going, to a higher dimension and a higher just love reality. Like, lead with love. Lead with your heart and with your passion. Oh, and my sacral chakra just like gave like a nice sigh. It was like, oh yes, like we need that. We need more love in this world. So please help bring your light out. I think that's what Spirit's trying to say here. All right, let's see if the Modern Witch Tarot is going to say more about that or something different. Let's find out. The Three of Wands. Again, I think it's like you've been in your head. You've been waiting for something to come in, and you feel like, it's not coming. And really, we got to turn this upside down. We got to be like, it's time for action. It's time to go. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got. Five of Swords. Yep, you're in your head. You're feeling like you're off doing something, and these other folks here aren't going to join you in the way. So maybe that's what it is you feel like if it is, again, a spiritual thing, you're coming out of the spiritual closet, people over here aren't going to be happy about that. They're going to be like, oh no, what are they thinking? Like, how are they going to make money? All these things, or, being an artist or being a musician or something. You're worried about the judgment from other people is what I'm getting from this card, as opposed to you being like, sometimes the Five of Swords is a little bit more like, like I have the, all the swords here. I took them from you. It kind of feels like, for me, it's like you're holding back. Maybe you've dropped some, hints of what it is you want to be doing, and you've gotten maybe some like, less than favorable reactions, and you're like, oh fuck, well now I got to like hold all these things back. I got to hold myself back. And the reality is, like, I think that's what it is. You've been thinking too much about how other people are going to judge you, and feeling like you're going to be shunned, that someone's going to turn their back on you. Because I don't know if you can see this. There's like someone back here, like their back turned, like crying, like, I think that's maybe what is happening here, is you're worried about the perception. And you haven't found your community yet who is very welcoming and celebratory. Or you haven't given these people a chance to let them support you. And you know what? A lot of times too, like if this is a spiritual thing, or you're being called by Spirit to do something in particular, and you feel like other people in your life currently aren't going to resonate with it, it could be a parent, they're worried about you, how you're going to make money and all these things. Could be something, coming from a really beautiful heart space. Maybe it's an opportunity to have a conversation about it and to let them see you and understand why you're being called in this way. Because sometimes when people turn their backs, it's because A, they don't understand, or B, they're worried about you. And so maybe that's what it is. It's an opportunity to like have a conversation, to sit down and, let them see you for who you are. Yeah. All right, let's see. Yep, Two of Swords. Yep, again, you're in your head. You're the one who's like, nope, I know how this is going to go. I know how they're going to react. I'm not going to, nope, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. Avoidance. You're very much in your head about it. So I think it's time to drop the swords. It's time to have a conversation. Oh, ooh, okay. Yeah, there's something that needs to end. And this isn't literal death. It's more about transformation and evolution. of a situation or a relationship. And maybe it's even too about you, fully embracing who you're meant to be and letting go of who other people want you to be. That's what it feels like to me. It's you need to let go of the image that other people have projected onto you. Maybe you grew up in a controlling house and your, mom or dad was very much like, you can do this and only do this and wear this and say that, and it's like they're doing it from a way of wanting to protect you from, the harms of the world, because maybe they've had a, shitty childhood or whatever. But it's like, it's time to let that go. It's time to drop the swords. It's time to step into who you're meant to be and be seen for it, which is really scary. And maybe that's why you're kind of holding yourself back here. Three of Wands is typically kind of waiting for your ships to come in, movement, seeing some sort of something coming back to you. But if you're not putting yourself out there, you're not going to see it. You can like create a piece of music and keep it on your computer and not put it out in the world. And until you do that, there's not going to be any movement. It's like people can't see you and what you're meant to deliver in this world if you're not taking the steps forward for it, if you're not stepping into the light, if you're not letting other people see you because you're so worried about their reaction. And maybe you're scared about your own reaction of how you're going to do it. And maybe that's also going back to this of stop overthinking. Like the more that you tap into spirit and co-create with them, the less you have to be doing yourself. It's not about you and how you're going to do it. A lot of times you have to put an intention out there and give it over to spirit and give it over to the archangels and your angels and your team, and your ancestors and the ascended masters and everybody to help bring it to you. Like you don't have to know the how of it, how it's going to show up for you. All you have to do is put the intention there and take a step forward for it. And so I think it's time to release this way of thinking that you feel like you have to do it all yourself and you're scared of how other people are going to view you. Yeah, because once you do, here comes the Knight of Cups. You're going to get spirit coming in literally with a cup, which is about love and emotion and, joy and fulfillment and all the beautiful, like emotional fulfillment that goes with it. And the movement, see with the river down here and the horse is about movement, it's about moving forward and being offered, a blessing from spirit. So I think the more that you take a step forward and get out of your head and actually put something out there, and you know what? Let's say you start a YouTube channel and no one watches your first video. You know what? Who cares? You did it. That's something to celebrate, is that you did it. You put yourself out there. YouTube is a beautiful thing where people watch it, for a longer period of time rather than like an ephemeral sort of like has to be watched now and it's gone forever. I think the important thing is that you've done it. How do you feel putting it out there? It's scary, sure, but it's satisfying as well to know that you've created something and you've put it out in the world. My hands are tingling because it just feels like you're meant to give this out in the world, your energy and your love and your movement and your vibration, and you're a channel of spirit. It's like you're meant to deliver this out in the world. So it's time to let go and shed who you're scared of being. Because once you recognize that and you face that and you step into your power, Spirit's going to come in and give you something really beautiful, and you're going to feel fulfilled, and you're going to have movement, and you're going to feel like this is the right direction. I'm starting to get choked up because I just feel like I feel your tension in terms of like just being really scared and feeling like it's a huge step and a huge leap, and feeling like you might lose people, or you might lose a situation, or things are going to change. When you step out into what you're meant to be doing, things are going to change. Your situation is going to change. But it's going to be really beautiful. It's going to be so loving and fulfilling and like really, really special. Yeah, and you can see too, even like this, particular, the Modern Witch Tarot, like, the woman on this horse, she's not in like, flowing robes and like, this beam of light. Like she's wearing like a leather jacket, like a beanie, like she's been through some stuff. She's been through like cold times, hard times, and like, it's okay. It's meant to come from the darkness, into the light. It helps you grow as a person and evolve as a person. Oh my God. And even Death is wearing a little like leather coat here. Like how funny is that? Leather coat and boots. So maybe it's the evolution on the horse too, of just like been through the hard times, been through the dark night of the soul potentially, and had to let go of some things in order to bring in something new and beautiful and fulfilling. Yeah. So if you're scared, I feel you. It's hard to change your situation. It's hard to step into what you're meant to be doing and to be seen. Because not all of us were, come from families where they're like, I accept you for exactly who you are and exactly what you want to be. A lot of times it's like they've had a hard childhood, or they've had, harder experiences. So therefore they need to shield and protect you. And it's just an assurance of like, I got this, I'm co-creating with spirit. I'm not alone in this. Yeah, it's not easy, but I promise you it's fulfilling. And you have to just tap into your intuition. You have to tap into your North Star of what is it that you know that you're meant to do? What lights you up? What brings you fulfillment that you didn't ever expect to? And that's what you're meant to bring into the world. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck, you work your light is Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So spirit has your back. If you look at all these ascended masters on this card, they have your back. They want to help you bring your light out into the world and bring their message. It's not just about you, babes. Their message and their divine orchestration is here to help you. Because they have messages for the rest of us. So we want to hear. So I want to hear it. I need to hear the message that you're meant to deliver. You should tell me what it is. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now let's look at the Angel Oracle cards. See what we got. I got one here, but then a bunch popped out that came face up. When I typically get all these cards, I don't look at them ahead of time. But I got a couple that were face up over here. So I might pull those depending on what this is, just to kind of show you, what you're not seeing. Yeah, joy. Oh, beautiful. It says joy is the highest energy of all. It's the magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. Joy allows you to attract and create your present and future moments at their highest possible levels. And I gotta tell you, like, joy is sort of the byproduct of like, grief and sadness, because you're able to tune into those fine emotions, and you can't have one without the other. You can't just be like, I'm all joy. Nah, that's how I am. Blah, blah, blah. Like spiritual bypassing. No, like that's not how life is. Like you have to have the highs and the lows to be able to appreciate both of them. You have to go through the dark to be able to get to the light. Most times. If you don't, then good on you. Like if you came into this world, you were just like, everything works out for me. Well, teach me your ways, please. Because, for most of us at different points in our lives, we go through a dark night of the soul. We go through these really hard times where we have to let something go and we have to grieve it, but it makes then those joyful moments so much sweeter. Like so much sweeter. Yeah, because at the bottom of the deck, it's new partner, cleanse and detoxify, wedding, ground yourself. So the way I'm going to read it is ground yourself, cleanse and detoxify. Maybe actually cleanse and detoxify first, because that's always a good way to start. You got to clean something out, and then you fill your vessel with, spirit, Mother Gaia, ground yourself, then a new partner, and then a wedding. So this doesn't have to be romantic totally, but it can be just like, new situations coming up where your journey, your mission is coming in, again, the Knight of Cups, and then it's that commitment, and then it's that joy. It's that like, I am what I'm meant to be doing, or I've met the person I'm meant to be with, and that could be like an actual physical wedding, but it can just be a commitment. So I think this is going to be, the homework of the week is work on cleanse and detoxify and ground yourself, because we got to clear some things out, to be able to bring in something new. And let's see what spirit allies have to say to help support you this week. Kava Kava and Wolf. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to read from the book on these because I'm not familiar with Kava Kava. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to speculate. I'm grounded. Oh my God, you guys. Oceans away, there lies a plant whose history is rooted deep in the sacred rituals of indigenous island cultures. Kava Kava, with its wide-brimmed leaves, has been used in ceremonies and embodies a spiritual practice of grounding. Like its root, Kava Kava is here to remind you that before you embark on any spiritual journey, you first need to ground yourself, which is so true. You got to ground and protect yourself first before you do anything spiritual, if you don't already do it. Connecting to the earth and yourself is how you'll be able to make clear decisions about where you are going and where you want to be. Imagine a brilliant white light that extends from you to the soil below. Feel it stretch beneath the surface and intertwine with the natural roots of the earth. You are connected to the source. Let this bring comfort to you and solidify the decisions you will make. As you continue throughout life, remember to always come back to your roots. And the journal prompt is, how can I make grounding a priority in my practice? Yeah, again, it's about being grounded, and it's, having the faith in yourself that you can get through these hard times and you can have hard conversations and it's going to be okay. You're not going to lose yourself in this process. Excuse me, confirmation burp, but it's like, because you have spirit here in literally all of these, the Council of Light, the Ascended Masters, sorry, it's tilted at a weird angle, here to help you on this journey. And Wolf is, I am supported. Oh my God, I love these readings so much. Wolf is, I am supported. Surrounded by its pack, Wolf is comfortable and content. While it is a natural leader and would be capable of surviving on its own, Wolf chooses to remain with its pack. There's a special kind of connection that only comes from kinfolk who are looking after your best interests and support you throughout your life. Think for a moment about the people that mean the most to you, whether that's family, friends, or romantic partner. Wolf is the embodiment of what it means to stay connected with the people who love and care for you. Even if you prefer being alone, remember that you are not truly ever alone. The universe cares and loves for you, just like your own pack. Reach out to the ones you love and remind them of how much you love them in return. Sometimes there is nothing better than catching up with a close friend and sharing the wisdom you've gathered. There's always something to learn from sharing experiences. The journal prompt is, who do I consider to be part of my pack? Ugh, really beautiful. And I'm going to leave you here with an I am everything affirmation card. I am ambitious. Yeah. I put my goals and ideas into action. I take a leap of faith and I believe in myself. When I put my heart's desires into action, it's for the good of all those involved. I am ambitious. So yeah, pile 2 is such a powerful reading, and trust me, I'm with you in this journey, and I am giving you so much love and support, and I'm going to send you Reiki through this video and afterwards to help support you in this process, because it's hard. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone and to try something new and to go towards your purpose. It's so easy to stay in your comfort zone of what other people want from you, and it's hard to follow what you know that you're meant to do. But know that Spirit has your back. I have your back. There's so much love and support here for you for what you're meant to be doing. So this week, again, cleanse and detoxify. And it doesn't have to be like like a fucking liquid cleanse or whatever, like a juice cleanse. It can be taking like salt baths, and clearing yourself with like sage or Palo Santo in your space, to like be sure to do it around your space too, in addition to your own physical body. You need to like cleanse all of that out. And I'm getting eating or drinking like dandelion root tea because it cleanses the liver, and your liver tends to store a lot of emotions in there. So like get things moving, get rid of that stagnation, fortify yourself. So again, I think it's about Epsom salt baths, sage Palo Santo yourself in your home. There are some like YouTube videos that are like frequencies for cleaning your home too, in your space, in your like, your physical energetic body too. So, you can look into that and see what resonates most for you. Or you can go around. What I've done too is just taken like a bell and just go around, like after you like sage, just go around with like a bell and just like clear out those like pockets of dense energy in your home. That always feels really good for me when I feel like something is just like, ugh, like icky. So cleanse and detoxify in that way. It definitely feels more energetic rather than your body, I would say. But again, I think like dandelion root tea is good for getting your liver cleaned out too, and like cleaning out some of those emotions in your body. And then from there, grounding. So do a really beautiful, just sort of like grounding meditation where, you take a couple deep breaths in, inhale, make your exhale longer than your inhale. Think about your feet like energetically like rooted into the ground, and just the roots like going down, 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 down to the core of the earth, and just letting that nourish you. That feels really important to say, is that the nourishment that you can get from Mother Gaia is like next level. Let that ground you, because it can be so easy in the spiritual stuff and even like, music or art or whatever to just be in your head. Ground. Make sure it's not just coming from your upper chakras, that it's also coming from your lower chakras. And I'm wishing you a really, really beautiful week. If you feel like things are getting hard, breathe, cleanse, ground. I love you so much. I'm sending you so much love and support. And again, I'm going to send some Reiki your way, just to help support you in this week ahead. Yeah. Comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. And I'll see you in the next one. All right. Thanks.